It's going to be short and sweet, and it can be because the lesson is simple, but the impact that it will have on your search engine optimization, your generative engine optimization, and your overall brand presence will be incredible. And so when we think about having your website, having your brand show up in all the places that you want, there's one secret to making it happen. There's one secret to making it happen. And we're going to briefly dive into that secret and how to avoid getting into trouble later on with SEO and with generative engine optimization.
I think the killer here, I'll start with the negative side. I think we often forget that there is competition in business and there's competition in the real estate that is the keywords that you want to rank for in Google. And because of the competition that exists, you will always be pushed away. You'll always be pushed to the side if you're not actively creating the conversation or the actions that you want to make an impact for your SEO in this case. And so when we're looking at like the secret here, the secret sauce, I think probably the number one indicator for someone finding success in SEO or even GEO is how consistent you can be.
Consistency matters because we see a lot of practice owners think SEO is a one-time action. It's something that you do every once in a while when you first build the site and audit here. And there are elements to it that are one-time actions. But to get into it, Google cares most about relevant content. Imagine if you were a little library and you only carried content from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and 30 years ago, 100 years ago, right? The older it gets, the less valuable it is for the community to come to that library and access the content. And so if there is not consistency on generating new content, new service pages, new blogs, new FAQs, the long list of types of content that add impact to your site and to your SEO, Google will care about it less, first and foremost, but ultimately users will also, potential therapy clients, will care about it less. And so when we think about consistency, most practice owners think that SEO is a one-time or semi-consistent action. The reality is the day you stop purchasing new books for your library, you stop expanding your library forward and diminishing your library backwards, is the day that you start to become irrelevant and get into a rut with how many people are going to find you and how impactful your SEO is going to be.
I'll add a note to that too. Guys, it's the sad reality of the world that everything runs on actions and like the habits create the outcome even from like a year from now, right? If you decide that you want to build some bigger biceps or something and you go to the gym and you start working out your biceps, you're not going to see a result in a week or 2 weeks. But in a year, if you kept it up, you're going to be like, holy cow, my biceps are huge compared to last year, right? And so this is also one of those cases here. Consistency isn't you just always having SEO at the top of your mind and thinking about how you can hack and grab a link somewhere. Can I get a link from this place? Or if someone posts my blog here, can they post me there too? And like that's SEO. That it's like irrelevant. That's like a penny, that's like a drop in the pond of things that you should be doing. It's like the 1% of something that's holding all this attention in your mind, but it's not actually really helping you. And so keep in mind that just thinking about the actions and being cognizant about what might help your SEO or improve your SEO isn't actually doing the actions on a consistent basis. That's like every time I sit down at the couch, maybe I'll do a curl or two rather than just being like, I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week, hit the curls hard, and that's your habit. And so just kind of keep that in mind as you're looking through consistency here, because especially as AI is able to kind of like read through and see your site's history and your site's scale and what other people are talking about your site and about your brand, you need to be the one to control the conversation. You need to be the one to control the narrative. You need to be the one to be controlling the outputs so that you can reap the harvest of the
There's two other supporting factors in staying consistent. This is across your whole practice and massively affects your SEO consistency as well. and that is marketing inflation and marketing depreciation. So everything, when you have to spend money to get the result, your food, your housing, your lifestyle choices, right? That is subject to inflation. There's a reason why it's typical for a 1 to 3 to 5% cost increase, annual salary change, right? Every year because it's subject to the rise of inflation. Your marketing is subject to inflation. What cost a year ago will cost more a year later. And so when we think about ad results, generating content, investing in SEO, right? Often, if we stay consistent at the same rate, meaning I'm investing $300 monthly today, and 5 years later, I'm still investing $300 monthly, we're not getting as big of bang for our buck, so to speak. Inflation has happened, so that same $300 is worth less a year later, 5 years later, some of those things. So we also see a lot of practice owners go wrong. They are consistent, but they aren't aware of the cost increase to get the same result, right? It takes more content now to get the same SEO result than it did 5 years ago. And so that also indicates that we have to spend more to generate more content to get the same result we got 5 years ago. Then when we think about marketing depreciation, it's just like a car. Your house is an asset that if you buy it today, it's going to be worth more 10 years from now. Your car, if you buy it today, 10 years from now, it will be worth almost nothing, is most cars. That is most marketing. Whatever dollars you put into marketing, signage, ads, SEO, social media, anything, it all has a different shelf life and it always peaks at the point of action and slams down at some rate. Social media is a little bit like tossing a rock into a pond, big splash immediately, ripples disappear within seconds or minutes, right? Maybe there's some other things that have a longer shelf life, like SEO, but everything depreciates, becomes less valuable the longer it's been since that marketing action's been taken.
Funny thing about marketing depreciation is that it depreciates because our attention spans depreciate. There's always other options. It's not like you spent $1 on your marketing in 2010 and it's not worth it anymore. Like you lost the clients from 2010. That's not necessarily the case. It's the attention from marketing that is leaving. It's actively leaving you at all times. And I think the interesting thing too about depreciation here is when you're looking at costs, like the inflationary costs of marketing, this is why insurance practices renegotiate rates and cash practices change their rates for their clinicians. Like there's kind of like the marketing costs increase, but that's always factored into your top line. That's always factored into your profit margins. It's always factored into how you change your rates as well. Inflation, unfortunately, is not going to go anywhere unless we drastically change the world systems, which I would applaud you guys if we do something about that, but that's not for today. So inflation looks like that in marketing too. I love this topic.
Maybe we'll do a
Josh.
deep dive on how these affect specific
And you guys can
channels
get
in the
ahead of it.
future. Let us
You guys
know
can
in the
get ahead of it.
comments if you want some additional feedback and content on inflation and depreciation and how you should invest in your marketing. Stay consistent. Be aware of what affects your consistency. Catch you next time.